Recently, my father bought a new car, a truly cool Benz Coupe. I don't have a car of my own yet, but my parents promised to buy me one in the summer. Well, now it's highly unlikely they'll keep their promise. Most of my friends already have cars, some of them have expensive ones. Well, you've probably already guessed that I have a few hang-ups about that. That's why I decided to show off a little bit before my friends. I took Dad's car while my parents were away and went to the place where our gang usually hangs out on the weekends. I have close to zero experience in driving, but driving through a few streets in the suburbs is no problem for me. When I reached my destination, everyone saw the car and wanted to know whose car it was. Under the watchful eyes of my friends, I didn't want to park in the several manures like an old lady. I wanted to do it as confidently as possible. In the end, I scratched the splasher against the barrier curb when I backpedaled. It seems like none of my friends saw that, but I could hear clearly the scratching noise, and when I stepped out of the car, I saw a deep scratch on it. On the whole, my appearance had the desired effect. The guys complimented my car and the girls looked at me more interested than usual. But I got no kick out of it all, as all I could think about all evening was the pep talk I would get from my parents after they learned about this. When I returned home, I already knew I had put the blame on someone else. But before I took the car, it was parked in such a way that no outsider's car could scratch it. I decided to blame our neighbor, as if it was him who scratched Dad's car when parking. To make it more believable, I scratched his car in the similar way with the abrasive paper that night. The truth came into light earlier than I thought. The neighbor saw the scratch before my parents came home. It turned out his house had a surveillance camera that recorded everything going on in front of his house. He played back the surveillance video and saw me scratching his car. It was stupid of me to not think of somehow hiding my identity. He decided not to get involved with a teenager and not to call the police, and I must thank him for that. Instead, he phoned my father directly. When my parents came back home, they gave me the worst pep talk of my life. Dad even said that he would have forgiven me for the scratch of his car if I had admitted to it, but by running our neighbor's car I showed my true colors, that I was a nasty person and had no morals. Now, I definitely won't get a new car and my parents and my neighbor think I'm a bastard. I feel ashamed every time I walk past my neighbor's door to return home. I try to walk past it as fast as I can.